Gene Hackman, two-time Oscar winner and star of The French Connection and Superman, has died at 95. Gene Hackman, the screen actor with iconic roles in The French Connection and Superman, has died. He was 95. The actor and his wife, classical pianist Betsy Arakoa, were found dead at their home in Santa Fe Summit on Wednesday, reported the Santa Fe New Mexican, citing County Sheriff Adán Mendoza, who confirmed to the outlet that the couple had died, along with their dog. Mendoza added there was no immediate indication of foul play in the deaths, the outlet added. He also did not provide a cause of death or say when the couple might have died. Born Eugene Allen Hackman in San Bernardino, California, in 1930, he moved frequently with his family, eventually landing in Danville, Illinois, where his father worked for a newspaper press. As a boy, Hackman often found himself escaping to movie theaters, where he idolized stars like Errol Flynn, Edward G. Robinson, and his favorite, Ginny Cagney. When Hackman was 13, his father left the family, waving a hand to his son as he left. It was so precise. Maybe that's why I became an actor. Hackman once told Vanity Fair in 2013 of that parting gesture. I doubt I would have become so sensitive to human behavior if that hadn't happened to me as a child, if I hadn't realized how much one small gesture can mean. 3 years later, after a night in jail for stealing candy and soda, Hackman enlisted in the Marines, serving until he was 19. After his discharge, he bounced around, living in New York, Florida, and his childhood home, Danville, and marrying his girlfriend, Faye Maltese, in 1956. They would divorce 30 years later. The pair later moved to California, where Hackman joined the famed Pasadena Playhouse. While there, Hackman forged a friendship with another aspiring actor, Dustin Hoffman. Hackman, however, was kicked out of the Playhouse and, deciding to prove them wrong, headed to New York City, where he was determined to make it as an actor. He landed a small part in a 2-week production of Arthur Miller's play, A View from the Bridge. In New York, Hackman kicked around for years, hanging out with Hoffman and Robert Duvall, taking small parts as they came. It wasn't until he was in his mid-30s that Hackman finally landed a role that got him noticed, playing Warren Beatty's brother in Bonnie and Clyde, 1967. As Buck Barrow in the incendiary film, Hackman earned his first Oscar nomination in 1968 out of 5. 3 years later, Hackman was nominated for a second Best Supporting Actor Oscar for his role in the 1970s I Never Sang for My Father. But it was his leading role in 1971's The French Connection that solidified his status as a Hollywood leading man and earned him the Oscar for Best Actor in 1972. Hackman pursued more diverse roles in 1972's The Poseidon Adventure, Francis Ford Coppola's 1974 film The Conversation, 1974, where Hackman plays a surveillance expert who thinks a couple is about to be murdered. He also portrayed a hard-charging coach in 1986's Hoosiers, the warmongering submarine captain in Crimson Tide, 1995. And he was Lex Luthor in the 1978 film Superman, which may have seemed an odd choice of vehicle for a man bent on making his bones as a serious actor. But with more than 80 movies on his resume, Hackman made room for silliness. For every bit of fun, like the animated film Ants, 1998, or The Birdcage, 1996, with Robin Williams and Nathan Lane, there were indelible turns in Mississippi Burning, which earned Hackman his 4th Academy Award nomination in 1989, and Clint Eastwood's Unforgiven, for which Hackman took home his 2nd Oscar in 1993 as a loathsome sheriff. Hackman retired from acting after starring in the 2004 comedy Welcome to Mooseport. Just a few years before, he'd once again thrilled audiences in Wes Anderson's The Royal Tenenbaums as the dying patriarch of a family of kooky geniuses, including Angelica Houston, Gwyneth Paltrow, Ben Stiller, and Luke Wilson. But after a career that spanned cinema's rebirth in the late 60s to the new century, Hackman decided he'd done enough. In 2004, Hackman told Larry King in an interview that his career was probably all over and that he had no new scripts in front of him. Confirming his retirement in 2008, he expanded on his thoughts several years later, telling GQ in 2011 that it would take a lot for him to make another film. "I don't know. If I could do it in my own house, maybe without them disturbing anything and just one or two people," he said, later telling the outlet that he just hopes to be remembered as a decent actor. While on a book tour for his novel Escape from Andersonville in 2008, Hackman told the Raleigh News and Observer he didn't want to keep pressing and risk going out on a sour note. "I feel comfortable with what I've done," he said.